So this is the end of this. We all knew about the trafficking, the untold story of Trump model management, part 1. This had to be in 5 or 6 videos because it's such a long expose, and it is just packed full of incredible information. And they took down my video number 3 last night and told me that, account ban warning. And then by this morning, they had restored it. It's all really good reporting. So this is the end of John Casablanca's career, right? He dies bitter, blaming the very models that he coveted his whole life. So he started these modeling schools, and the author actually had a friend that went. So when John Casablanca died, he was eulogized in the familiar way that powerful men are eulogized no matter what their sins. Stephanie Seymour, her goblet of milk and plate of cookies were not mentioned. John Casablanca's stubborn insistence that he owned the rights and should share in the profits made off the bodies and faces of little girls, that lived on. Even when those little girls were too underdeveloped and disappointing compared to their mothers, not to mention too young to write love letters to, not too young to lure back to New York. I'm only a man and I have needs was, of course, never mentioned. Casablanca's legacy of fraud, the wholesale rip-off dreams like those of my friend, and everything that lay within the back pages of my latest issue of 17 and Young Miss went unreported on and unremarked on. The countless number of girls who were abused and exploited within his schools and his New Faces division, his pep talks with naked adolescents trembling on scales as they straddled the fine line between model and healthy weight, were forgotten. Honestly, who knows how many were affected? Based on the conversations I've had, not a single person who worked under Casablanca's reign at Elite went unscathed. Victims of Claude Haddad, a man that Casablanca would later reconcile with and try to plot a re-entry into the industry, they have formed a de facto support group because of the horrors they endured. They still cry when they talk about it. They cry when they talk about him. They are not crying over his departure from this world. And yet Casablanca, the corporation, the legend lives on. His name is still attached and promoted by his discredited chain of modeling schools, which continue to churn through small-town girls with high aspirations. Remember, this was 2016. With high aspirations, low self-esteem, and gullible parents willing to accrue subprime debt to help them succeed in modeling. A tapestry woven with countless broken dreams and lost fortunes, his legacy continues to take out ads in teen magazines to lure in young girls, teach them useless skills like how to balance a book on their head while turning their hair into grease fires, and issue them diplomas printed out at Kinko's under high volume discount. At the end, they either walk away with thousands of dollars in debt before they even reach college, or if they're lucky, they might funnel their experience and contacts into the next level of this system, Miss Teen USA, teen modeling, hopelessly corrupt industries that will likely chew them up and spit them out before they reach the age of majority. In the end, despite his inadequacies, Donald Trump would end up on top. In the meantime, however, the fashion industry as a whole would go through one more unexpected and profound transformation. After the USSR collapsed, a very few number of men profited and became untouchable, much more so than Casablanca could have ever dreamed. The cultural winds surrounding the industry changed direction yet again. It was likely inevitable, especially in such an already corrupt environment, but the results would be nothing short of devastating for many of the young lives caught in the balance, girls from Iowa to Slovenia and Brazil. And Donald Trump was in the center of it, just as one might expect he would be, all too willing to reap the rewards. And that finally is the end of the part 1 of this series. I will be moving on to part 2. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your wonderfully kind comments. I mean, I never thought I would, put my face on camera and be able to talk and do videos, and I came to TikTok to practice, basically, for for the content that I wanted to create down the road. And it's been a good experience overall. It's been a great experience. And the support that I found here on TikTok is, I'm just so grateful for it. I like to interact with my audience. I love to interact with their comments. I love to go offside and text each other and keep in touch. I would love to keep in touch with many of you after they take our social media accounts, after they come for us on these platforms. Don't forget that. And I won't shut up. I mean, and maybe it's because I have a lot less to lose than most people. And we need people who are willing to continue to talk about democracy, who will continue to call out the corruption of this administration and the world, the corruption that just seeps in to the fabric of this system. This is what happens when we don't send working class people, when we don't send just regular people to Washington. He wasn't a billionaire yet, but he was a multimillionaire when this whole thing started. And I know he ran on a populist campaign. I know he did. I know he fooled millions of Americans into believing that he was going to pass policies for the people. I know he did. I know he's a big fake and a big phony and a fraud. An actual fraud. An actual convicted felon for 34 counts of fraud. I mean, he cheats at everything. He cheats on his wives. He cheats at golf. He cheats when he deals in business. He says that the size of his condo is really 2,500 feet when it's really 1,000 feet, so he can get more favorable loans and bigger loans. And then when it's time to go and pay taxes, oh, it's only 800 feet, my tiny little condo. I mean, the guy is just so blatant, right, about his illegalities, as we all now see. But you know, he's been like this all along. If anybody ever wanted to do a deep dive, this story was published before the 2016 contest as a warning, and it got censored the shit out of and suppressed. And this is what we're up against. We're up against this huge media machine. All of our media companies are owned by billionaires. I still can't believe they're letting people speak out on MSNBC the way they are. Like Rachel Maddow, my hero. Love her. Love you, Rachel Maddow. So, I'm not going to shut my mouth. I guess because I have a lot less to lose than a lot of other people. I don't have kids to worry about. And I know if anything happens to me, my friend would find a really good home for my dog. I've already been locked up for 2 decades of my life, and it doesn't scare me. So I guess that's my explanation for continuing to speak out. So, and I'm going to have to find a platform to go to that's not going to suppress my content. And I don't know where that is right now. I mean, YouTube was a viable option like a couple years ago, and that's why I made plans to do that. And I mean, I'm still planning to do that. But y'all, if you hear of any other platforms, we need to make our own platforms where people can go to put out long-form content, report on the news, and do deep dives into other things that are interesting to the American populace that our own media won't talk about. It's just that simple. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear about them. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I love you all. I really do.